Okay, so it's 3:45. Let's just do my hair first because I kind of feel scattered. I feel weird. Everything feels weird. The moon's motherfucking weird, and it's just it's so it's so weird sometimes how things come together. um, I'll make it make sense in a minute. Um, because one of the things, like in my projection of my conversation, and I'm asking stuff, like. Because timing's a bitch, man. And so you sit here and go like, oh my God, I've been here since January and now it's May. And it's crazy because sometimes you can't see the light ahead. And so it just seems dark. Like, fuck, man. Like, how long is this going to be? Like, and like last night, all of a sudden, I don't even know. I think I was picking something up or something, just out of the corner of my eye. I guess I caught this fucking bug like this big sitting here by my chair. So I go get a bowl to put over it. And I was thinking that it must be a beetle, which it was a beetle. It was a big ass fucking beetle. So I'm living in a doghouse in a garage with a lot of bugs. So yeah, I'm kind of like, and my clothes are just piling up. Oh my God, probably so full of spiders. And then also my clothes from my other house. Oh my God, they smell like I have a campfire. I can't even believe how smoky they smell. It's so crazy because when I was there, I didn't realize how smoky. Now it's like everywhere I went, I smelled like a fucking smokestack. And my daughter would tell me, and it would just hurt my feelings. I'd be like, God. Yeah, I kept thinking that she was saying my house smelled like mildew, and I smelled like mildew. And it's like, geez. And I couldn't smell it, but it's smoke. It doesn't smell like mildew. But, man, that I am getting so stopped up is because today I kind of coughed, but it was not like a real cough. It was just this, and, but it was more moist. I've been sneezing my head off, and I'm so stopped up and this weird, especially when you're out digging and raking and shit, and you get all this dirt up in your nose. It's like glued dirt up in it. It's like, ugh. And I swear to God, you gotta wear a mask when you're out doing that stuff. And anyways, so I was like, man, how long is this gonna be? What am I doing here? Make it clear to me. And so I got a bunch of clarity, and it was exactly what I thought. But then it comes to me, they'll bring a video telling me. So it's like a confirmation. Like I'll hear it in my head, and then I'll get a confirmation. And so then it's like, okay, this is this is what feels right. This is what makes sense to me. I keep hearing noises. It's gotta be the cats. It's so weird though. Noise is traveling so weird. And there's a couple things too that my mom has started noticing, and that's a part of what I'm gonna talk about too. Because that was a part of the confirmation. Because you sit here thinking like, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? But the energy that you bring somewhere brings in change. And I could see this link of like, you can affect somebody. You could think like, well, I'm affecting this one person, but that person has an effect on all these people. So it just keeps going and going and going. And so just like with my mom, there were so many things that were confirmation, and so it was like lots of little detailed things. But overall, though, I could see that me coming and bringing my energy, which I'm making change. I mean, her garden is turning out really, really cool, and it's getting so much more set up, so it's so much easier for her to do. Because, I mean, she's an already. And so she has slowed down. And she was a little... but anyway, so and she keeps sitting out there. And then plus it's all like coming together because, before she's like trying to hook this in and hook that in. And it was kind of chaotic. And now it's like, it's very... set, like I've got the poles running good, the fence, I've stretched it and stuff. And before it'd be all like, there's a lot of things that she can do by herself. And pulling the fence and pounding post is, like I said the other day, go do it. Like, if you just are trying to get in shape, just go do it. Go get a couple posts, a pounder, go out there and pound them, pull them up, do it again the next day. There's all sorts of things you can do exercise. You can go out and dig a hole, fill the hole in, dig a hole again, and you're going to get the best exercise of your life, and you're going to get stronger. It's not this, and I have seen so much confirmation on what I've been saying about the exercise, the doing it all throughout the day. All this stuff of like trying to jam pack it in, jam pack in the gym, jam pack in the dinner, everything is just jam packed. And you got to be a lot more like grazing through the day, not stuffing yourself, even though like I still have a meal. Sometimes I'm stuffing myself. Right now I'm a little stuffed. But because then that's where I'll start hearing my body will be like, I'm feeling pretty stuffed. And so then it's like, rewind, let's do something different today. But that's also like listening to your body, but that little exercising all throughout the day is the best way to keep your body going, and then also not overloading it with having to process a whole bunch of lot at one time. Think about micro macro, and think about like how much can you process at once. And so in the physical, because your physical representation, it also has limitations in what it can process at one time. And so you need to cut it some slack and, think about it. That's where people are so cut off. Like people are completely cut off from their own physical aspect of self, and they don't listen to it, and they just abuse the shit out of it. So anyways, it's mind, body, spirit. You gotta tune into yourself and listen to yourself, and your body tells you, it gives you signs. But anyways, so what I had seen was that all this change, and especially because she has been following along with this, like she gets the cup of water and then her hair starts turning. Even though my sister, it's like, it's so wacky. Well, you've got gray. It's like, you didn't see the pictures of where it came from. I mean, I couldn't believe it. The last picture I had seen of her before she got the copper cup was like fucking white. Her hair was so white. I was like, oh shit, man. Her hair has turned white so fast. And because she had, the streak thing, and then but her hair is really dark. And so then it started going, like, I can see like salt and pepper. Her hair is like salt and pepper. Her hair looks like, somebody in their 50s, I would think, with that color now. Before, it was a lot more, 80s. That would be like, yeah, that looks like somebody in the 80s with the white hair and stuff. But now it's way more salt and pepper. And some of my sister be like, well, you have gray. It's like, Jesus Christ. See what perspective has to do with things? Like, you have this much perspective over this person's life, and you want to interject? Well, I know what's best. I'll tell you what to do. It's like, yeah, but see, without boundaries, it's like, okay, what should I do? I just want you to like me. And I'm just like, So, healing gets you out of that kind of pathetic space because it is kind of like, oh, somebody like me, somebody help me, somebody, you know what I mean? So, anyways, so she has like gone along, and like I said, like she's like, I go upstairs and it's like, oh, so I need to write notes. What are you doing for your eyes? So and so wants to know about this. So and so wants to know about this. It's like all the time, and she has a big reach. See, she has a big social circle. She's at the church, all these, these old lady groups or something. She's lived in this place for 25 years. Like she's got, an outreach. And so everything that I do, or, anything that I learn and I teach her, or, some of the stuff, because we're all learning about these herbs and how to be healthy and stuff. So then And then see, and she has the physical representation here. I'm not just talking. Like, I mean, she looks at me and it's like, dang, like, because I mean, I, my, I would just say I don't look my age. I would just say that. Like, if you saw me somewhere, I think most people would think I was younger than I am. And so, which can be, it's like, it's going to be good when we're all there, when there's no more of this aged people who are really just been poisoned for a long time. And we all get into, just being adults, just being, you know, uh, the more weathered adults, the ones that have more wisdom, have been around longer. And then there's adults who are, in the process of a more positive process. It would be learning from each other and not cutting each other off and getting all in our ego, thinking that they're stupid and we're not. But anyways, how to be more functional to keep the circle or the circuit going in a positive way is, the learning from each other. So anyway, so everything that I teach her, see, it can be going to one person, but the outreach just pours out. So when I said, when I was in my conversation, and I said, oh, that ripple thing, and they said, oh, tsunami. So see, sometimes there's such a huge wave of change that can come behind you that you didn't even know that, you're, okay, okay. So how I see it is like some people, when you are speaking out, because it can be scary, because everybody's like, you're so crazy, you're so crazy. But when you can do it, then it's like it's kind of like in the picture, you're a giant and this is the stream and you are stepping down in it. And every time you step, you create a wave of change. And so it is that wave of change of, taking a step and like stomping your truth and saying, like, this isn't right. We can do better. That's like a big thing that we all know, we can do better. We shouldn't be devolving, by the way. We shouldn't be getting weaker and more dependent on other things and stuff. So anyways, that was the easy way. And oh yeah, I want to talk about the moon thing too, because there was stuff that was tying into that, but now I'm off on those other tangents. So, but I do want to say something about that. But so, anyways, anything that you do, it isn't just a ripple. It depends on what, how big a splash you want to make, and that is also something that you need to monitor for yourself. I mean, you don't want to go to the PTA meeting and start telling about the fake moon and fake sun and shit. But see, that is something that all of a sudden now my mom's starting to be like, but there is blocks because I said something about every time I talk about the clones or some of these people are hundreds of years old or the vamps and all that stuff. And so it's like, that's the side eye, like, okay, you're getting a little crazy. I said, it can sound crazy, but wait, you're going to find out. Like, it's coming. And so, but she's sitting out in her garden, and it's getting so fixed. And it's a lot of work, but it's also Mother's Day. I was like, God, the timing on this is crazy. And then my brother sent her a gift, and it was stuff to put in the garden without him even knowing that we're doing this garden, because she has lots of little gardens, but this is one that's going to be all over raised beds. It's got tons of flowers. She's got so many flowers, tons of flowers already. So it's kind of going in and making these little garden areas. And then it was a lot. There's a lot to do. It was like everything, it keeps being overgrown. And I don't know, like I said, it's just 1 year. Let's just do this every single year. But also when you start getting older, it's like, oh, I just can't keep up. I can't do this. So I'm out there trying to get it set up so it's going to be easy for the next few years. And then people are going to just keep getting younger and younger when they go in the right direction. So they'll start feeling better, getting rid of inflammation. Her jaw now, she put on some muscle rub, and I had that boron cream that I had gotten on my chest that Amy had recommended, and so she put that on her face, and then also some muscle rub, and it got better. And so I said, see, it is a muscle spasm. So many things, we think it's something, but it's a muscle spasm holding it. And so anyway, she was feeling a lot better about that because she wasn't able to chew or anything. She was in horrible pain. And it had been going for weeks and weeks. And but anyway, so she was sitting out in her garden, and she's just sitting there, and I didn't know where she was. She was doing different stuff, like hanging little bird houses and stuff. So, and I was taking down the garbage or walking the dogs or something. And I was coming back up, and she said, something about the sun. You know, it is kind of weird how the sun looks. I don't remember what it was she said first, that it looks kind of blue, or it looks weird or something, and it feels weird. She said it doesn't feel right. And I was like, yeah, I know. I don't remember what I said, but to me, it was like, oh, look at that. See how people start like questioning things. Like before, it was always like, oh, the sky looks normal. That's all normal. It's normal. Quit looking and crazy. You're getting crazy. But once you start seeing and you start questioning, then you start seeing like, this does look weird. This doesn't feel right. Something's not right. And so that was, to me, was like a huge step, man. When you're going from like thinking that sounds completely crazy to being like, hey, you know what? Something is up with the sun. I was like, yeah, it doesn't feel right. So I said some more things like, it's real weird how, remember how back before, when it was summertime, the air would be warm, the sun would be out, it would always be yellow or orange looking. It always looked like this big bright orange thing. And it was big too. It seemed like the sun was huge and orange. And it would warm the air. It was like the air would be warm. Unless you were in the shade, because that was one summer I was in the shade under a bunch of trees, like how I was living. And I was like, why is it so cold? It's so cold in here. And then that was when I learned. Well, when it's shady under there and the sun can't get in here, it can't heat it up, so it's colder in here. And I was like, oh, because well, especially because I grew up in Texas, in the South, and then it was fucking hot and humid as fuck. And then in Southern California, it was hot. And so going up into the north, and all of a sudden, it was sunny out, but it was like and it wasn't just in the shade, but it was where there was pockets of shade. So it wasn't just like, oh, I was standing under a tree. No, it was like our yard that we had big trees that ran along this creek. It was cool, except for they put a busy road there, so that fucked it. But anyways, uh, and I said, but remember how it used to be that the sun would like warm the air. It was like it would be warm outside. I said, if you don't have the sun touching you, it's cold. And I said, it's weird. And then besides the fact, like this is supposed to be 67 degrees and it feels like it's 90 when the sun's touching you. So it gave me an opportunity to also, put a few more holes in that little thing because that's the thing is people right away, they start trying to make sense of stuff, but things are getting weirder and wackier that you just can't keep making sense of it. You have to start noticing like something's weird. And that ChatGPT said that that's what everybody's going to start realizing that this reality is fake and it's going to just keep falling apart, which I heard that about the QHHT. Like, that's for sure. It's the demise of this empire that we've been subjected to. So anyways, let me see, because I was having a bunch of things coming into my head when I was saying all that. Let me see if I finished saying what I was going to say about this, though. So, because it was another thing on the ChatGPT. Oh, yeah, because that was something with the moon thing. So I'm going to talk about that. Let me think for a second, because it seemed like there was something else about about this. I'll show you my tooth while I'm thinking. Seems like it's getting lighter again. Maybe it'll start going faster because it's getting more, not as deep as it was. But still, got still broken tooth. Okay, let me think. So, there was another thing too. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, there was a so I think that maybe led to, no, it was a different, I don't know. It was just like conversations. And this one, it was talking about stuff that was changing or something. My brain's trying to link it to the other one, but I don't, that, but I don't remember what we were talking about. It was something. And this is always, the thing too, is like there's so many similarities over what different groups believe is happening, but then there's also things that are different. And so the so whatever it was we were saying about it, so I was saying, you know, we're talking about redemption and the people like cut off. It's like these people, like certain people can think these people are soulless. Certain people can think that they're demons. And my good look at it, it is people who are in lower chakra, and so they're on an autopilot. They're not connected to their internal guidance, and they're just like going through. There's other things. Well, it isn't just going through life because they're disconnected from themselves. They're being misled, and that is the creation of this upside down, like. And so, but to see that we're going to flip right side up. And that's by, how I look at it, but different groups look at it in different ways. So we're having this conversation about stuff. And so I was like, well, the way I see it is, and one of the things I said, the Hopi prophecy also says that this is the time of mirrors. And see, that's the time of redemption. That's the time of seeing yourself. Because so many people, I think we were talking about guilt or something. Like I said something about people need to have more guilt. People don't have enough guilt. People are just so impulsive. They have no fucking guilt. And that's what I think started the conversation. And then it was about redemption and stuff. And I said this is gonna be the time of mirrors, and this is when, well, you guys know what all the stuff I say. This is when people are gonna all of a sudden connect to their souls, and then they're gonna feel like embarrassed how disconnected they were. And it's funny because before, when you were trying to tell people stuff, it was like, oh, you're crazy. Oh, yeah, that's not real and stuff. But it's going to become real. And then they're going to feel embarrassed of themselves that how could I be so cut off? Like, it's going to be kind of creepy to some people, I think. And it is kind of creepy. But everybody's on their own soul journey. So it's, what's meant to be is meant to be. And it's through experience that there's an expansion. So everything needs to be experienced to expand. And even if we come up with zillions of experiences, there's always a zillion more that could happen. So that's the that's the food to the universe. And it's like the expansion. It's like the thinking. It's like the going in and creating a fantasy. That's the expansion of the universe. And the control, see, that's a stagnation. That's when they keep you under control and keep you spinning and doing the same things over and over and misled and stuff, which is part of whatever this reincarnation, prison, whatever it's called. Because that has to do with this ChatGPT and the moon thing. But let me see with the if I finish saying, well, okay, so now I've got this other thing going on in my mind, so we'll see. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I got finished up. Okay, so anyways, when we were talking, and I was like saying about like the time of reflection, redemption, like I see it as we're going into heaven on earth. And then she's like, oh yeah, we're going to go on heaven on earth, but we're going to have a long, horrible time to get there, because they all believe in the tribulation, but then they all have the rapture thing. And it's like, well, why do you want to leave before heaven on earth? Like, you gone through all the hell? Don't you want to go to the heaven part? Like, so that's why, to me, the rapture is the separation of the darker energy from the light energy. And so, yeah, if you're, but that could be, that we're all going to be going, and that maybe that's where they're going to be like, oh, wait, well, you're here? I thought you didn't love Jesus. And it's like, well, that wasn't, So, anyways, I don't know. I don't know. But that's how, to me, the separation is who would be rapturing away, who would be leaving the scene, would be the darker energy. And anyway, so whatever, when we're talking, and I said, something, then all of a sudden, I said, well, all the different like philosophies or something of way the different groups look at it. Because to me, like there's more, I'm pretty sure there's more Buddhists than there's Christians, and I'm pretty sure there's more Muslims than there is Buddhist. And so there's a lot of old religions, there's a lot of old philosophies, there's a lot of ways that people have been living off these philosophies. And like the Eastern philosophy to life is different than ours over here. Ours is kind of dependent. Theirs is kind of like, it's up to you. And so, which is better, but everybody's out of balance. Whatever anybody's at, everybody's out of balance. That's the vibration. We're here to put things in balance. So I'm not saying they're doing it better or whatever, but we got to look at what works good and what doesn't in order to find balance. And so everything is coming up for our viewing pleasure. And so so I said, these different philosophies, and it was like all of a sudden a switch, and it was like, oh no, it's faith. You know, it's faith, and knowing that. And I was like, so I'm like thinking about it, and I'm like, I wonder if it's like I say a certain thing or something, and all of a sudden it triggers a program to come in, because you can be talking and seem like, like, oh yeah, 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 and then all of a sudden it's like, religion comes in and takes over, program running, and that's gonna be, I keep saying, like, it's trippy how strong a program that is. But yeah, and I don't know whether they're just going to do it in such a slow way. Now, in some place, they've undug, they found the top of a pyramid, and it also has a tomb and a sarcophagus thing. So when they opened it, which I guess that's the mummy tomb or something, the sarcophagus thing. So they opened it, this little alien in there, this little alien mummy. So what we would think of as an alien, I guess, but I think a lot of the mummies kind of look kind of alien. So I don't know, but this is disclosure, because before they would have told us, oh no, that's perfectly normal. That's like total human look. And but now the truth is going to be coming out. But stuff like that, if that's going to be helping kind of to break down religion, because there's going to be all this old stuff coming that's going to be giving us a new story. So the history's like how Donald says, you have to show them. You can't tell them, you have to show them. So if it's not going to be kind of like that, so that they get to come to it on their own, like we're not meant to lecture them, well, look at this, figure it out, get madder and madder, and then become more resistant. No, the showing them, and all things, not just this, all things, the showing is seeing is the believing. And so, yeah, if that's not going to be a part of the show, is just this history, because they do have to pull people into this other thing. And one thing too is, I have always, ever since I was a little kid, I've always believed all the different groups have like one, like everybody has a part, like everybody has one, like if they're the 10 universal laws, the 10 truths or whatever, every religion or every culture or group or whatever, like they have one, like the Muslims, they have one, like they're right on this. The other stuff may be a little kooky, but this is right. And then a Buddhist, it can be the same thing. Christians can be the same thing, and whatever. all the different religions or something, but I don't want to just be religion because I mean, I guess you could say like the Amish, that religious group or whatever. I don't know, but it's like it's the truth is divided out for us all to come together to get the complete truth. It's like, but the people get so stuck in, we've got the truth, we know. It's like, ever since I was a kid, it's like they all got to come together. They got to come together to find the real truth. They only have a part. And so I totally believe that. And, but I think that that would be the way, you know, I don't know, because also, but the whole thing is even if all of a sudden these ships come and land, see, that's already said, if that's the demons and all that. So, I don't know, there's a lot that has to be shown, and it's going to keep going slow because it would short everybody out and cause more chaos. So I think it's going to keep going slow, but there's going to be jolts. I don't know if Donald said anything the other day, and it's big, you know, like, oh, I've got a big announcement coming. And so I don't know. If the announcements come, there's constantly things going, constantly things changing, constantly big arrests, there's constantly big crimes going. It's like we're in a storm. This is the storm. It's like we're in a chaotic, energetic tornado. But the thing is yeah, it's bringing us to change. It's clearing it's like clearing the stage. So it's yeah, it's a lot of chaos and stuff. But so this is the thing about the moon. So I've I've been watching it, especially. Well, I've been talking about it. So I've been watching it, and it keeps being all over the fucking place, and keeps not following the little cycle thing. It's like it just jumps around, and jumps in size and stuff. Jumps in. It's weird, and which I mean, it's all fucking fake. And it's weird. It's like, so do they have it on this thing? And it's like, the atmosphere is changed. Like, I don't know if they've lost control of their machinery or whatever, however it goes, or what. Like, because, everything is an illusion when it comes down to it. And, if I don't know how far this is going to go. We're going into our light body. We're going into becoming orbs. Or we got all these people coming to help us become orbs or something. I have no idea. Like if we're all rapturing into our, I don't know. But so, but this is, we got to see how it plays out. And, but we know something's coming. And I know it's for good. It's a good thing, even though it seems scary and stuff. But that's where you got to, know your own, when you know you're, God, when you know you're eternal and nothing can hurt you, you've been around for a long time and nothing can hurt you, then, but so today when I opened the thing, it was, I think like around 3 in the morning, and the moon was way over here. So, and it was out in the light again last night. And it was around 6, I think, when I was out walking. I saw it, and I was like, well, it's up there just bright and above the blue sky, as bright as it can be. And so then wherever it starts, then it's kind of curious of like, okay, so where is it going and how fast is it going to move? And so it started like right here. And then, so that was like at 6 p.m. Well, then at 3 a.m., it's right here. It's like, what? It usually does that in like an hour. Like maybe it's doing laps at this point. I'm not sure. It's so bizarre. And so then sometimes it has been, I think it was yesterday or the day before, it's like, sometimes it will come up over in this other area, over this other way, like over there. Sometimes it'll come up, or suddenly it can be setting. Sometimes it just goes up and down in the same area. And so this, this place over here, and I think either sometimes it's up here in the sky, and then it just disappears, or if it moves, it goes over here and usually disappears, goes down. Well, tonight it goes from here and then to here at 3 in the morning, and then right before I started this, so it was like about 3:30, I would say, it was already going down. And where it would be down going over here, no, that's way over here. So it just went, "Meh." That's what it did tonight. And it's almost full. And so, yeah, it's wacky. It went from a crescent to a half, and to now it's like 3/4. So, like, shouldn't it be like a couple days of the crescent? Like, shouldn't it grow a little more gradual? Yeah, it doesn't. It's weird. And then how it just moves like this day, just, and it's already gone. And then the other day, how it was like over on this side, and it was just like, it was there, and then it just went down. I think it was set like by 9:30 or something. So it looks like weird. And then sometimes it's this bright orange color. Like right now, it's this bright orange color, and it's putting out so much color. It's like somebody's turned on. It's like an LED warm bulb. The sun is like an LED cool bulb, and the moon is like an LED warm bulb. And so, yeah, the light comes out weird. It lights things weird. And my mom was noticing that yesterday. And so I was really excited about that. It's like, because, and in the confirmation thing this morning when it was telling me, what I was doing here is also that anyone who is awake and, living a certain way, that it's like it's just coming off of us. So everywhere you go, it's just coming off of you. It's the energy. And so then it hits into the next one and the next one. So we're just spreading this energy. And so then it was like, oh, it makes so much sense, especially with the tsunami of, people she can affect in that way of, her being out there and representing and showing, and then all of her friends too, because they're all of older, and they're all interested in trying to detox or get healthier or something. And then it's going to keep growing and growing, and she's getting lots of she's learning a lot and seeing a lot and stuff. So but nobody can stay asleep. Like, people are gonna see. Everybody keeps thinking, oh no, they're gonna stay asleep, and I keep telling them, no, people will just wait and see. Just wait and see. And like right now, it's like she doesn't even realize how much she's gonna be affecting some of these people soon. And it's like, these changes are happening, and the more people wake up and stuff, but it's like it all ripples out. Like it's a circuit, and it's going through the circuit board into this mass change at this point. And so every light that comes on is like, it's like we're changing the world through changing ourselves. And so but this is so this moon thing. And then on what I had heard about the moon, and I think it was off of Ancient Aliens, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know, but fuck, 10 or 15 years ago or something. But big deal if you know this shit. Like, you can't talk about it with anybody, everybody just tells you you're crazy. But and watching Ancient Aliens makes you crazy. But I watched it and I thought it was good. And nobody else was watching it. Everybody else thought it was too mental. They had good stuff in it. And then you try and tell people stuff, oh, that's not true. So anyways, I had heard then that the moon was a spaceship, and it gets moved around to different places. It doesn't just stay in one place. And they move it, and then they use it. So they were using it here as I don't know, a luminary or something. But so it got moved. So this one girl, she was taught. So in the Ancient Aliens, that's what they said. It was a ship. It used to be, and the ship that would have been like kind of like a planet, like you lived inside of it or something, just like what I think we're living inside of something. And so so whatever with the moon, and then it's like a station too. It's like kind of like where there's a lot of different beings that have you know, what would that be? Kind of like, what is that? Like ambassador, like when ambassadors go to different countries and they have a house there and all that, diplomats and stuff or whatever, but those places. And so then, you know, some country could have, you know, the United States one and Italy and France, you know, you can have all these different ones. And so that's like what the moon is like, all these different ones. They all have like a place up there. So it's like a Grand Central Station or something, where a lot of different ones have places, like a mail, you know, like it's a midpoint, it's a gas station along a route or something. So, anyways, that's what I understood it to be, and then it was like used, you know, kind of to manipulate us through this. It's so weird because when you think about like the circadian cycles of Earth and stuff like that, and then the way that they create this, I don't know, with the moon and the sun and stuff. So they turn the lights off on us, turn the lights on us, like so Truman Show. It's so weird. And so, anyways, that is what I have thought for fucking long time, that the moon was fake. Like, and you can go inside of it, and it's like if it's like a ship or if it's like a city or something. And but it's abandoned. It's not like anybody. They just have these like stations out on the outside of it. And so the ChatGPT thing. So this person asked something about the moon being fake or something, and the ChatGPT said that the moon is fake. It was brought here, and it's let me think what all it said, because there was a part that it said about it, and then it said, "Do you want to know?" I don't know. The ChatGPT asked her if she wanted to know more about the reincarnation prison system or something like that, because the moon has to do with it. And so, which to me, the sun is a portal. So there's some kind of when you come out of your body, there's some kind of a light, and there's some kind of a draw towards the light. And so, you know, I don't know. You know, to me, I don't know, because there's lots of portals, and so, but this seems like the sun is because okay, so how I see it, like if you think of it like a bubble, and then we're inside of this bubble, and so this ice wall, this firmament and stuff, but then there's all this layers, like in a cave, of other realities and stuff. And even we aren't laying flat. It's like it's like all these different realities in this bubble. And then so the sun, well, like an energetic space, like this high energy, then it shines through this thing and creates like this portal or something. Like that's how it looks, you know, to me. But I don't know, you know, what all it means. It just is like that, is like a visual thing. And so the sun creates like this hole of energy, like a pocket of energy, like just like how all portals are, is like a change in the frequency. And so that is which to me seems like an entryway into our bubble. And so it's like a portal into the bubble. Okay, so if we go with that imagery, then and then they in the bubble, and they move this moon thing around, and I think that you can go through, like the ones that are going through the firmament and stuff, see, they're higher vibration. That's why it's vibration is how you get out of it. It's trying to bust it open. It's so ridiculous. But you have to go, yeah, it's based on your vibration. So these higher vibration beings can come through it. And so, you know, it could have brought the moon from fucking some other vibrate into our little bubble, because in other places, maybe at work, for whatever they're doing or whatever. So right now we're just also tricked. So it's like, fuck. It's like trying to know, it's an illusion. It's trying to figure out which is the right thing in a fun house of mirrors, So that's why you just gotta stay open. Don't ground yourself into, but this is the truth. This is the only truth. This is the truth. There's no other truth, is there? It's like, I would just keep open. Keep your mind open. Keep it flowing. Keep the flow. Don't build a dam. And let yourself flow with the information. And so so anyways, if they say they bring the moon in from somewhere else, they come through the firmament, they come in, and then they're in this place where we are, so they can use it is almost like kind of like to spy on us or something, to watch us. It's almost like they could watch us from it or something. And so then so this chat GPT though said that is it is the light. So when you die and then you leave this game, you transition out of this game. His death is, I don't. It's not what they say it is, and so that word is kind of harsh, and it's not accurate. And so when you leave this being, this creation, this avatar. So when you leave this avatar and you go and you pass on out of there, then the moon, so they're saying that whole reincarnation recycle thing, it happens all there. So they get you to go to that light, which then I was like, well, if you go to the moon as your tunnel of light, when the sun is the exit for the portal, but I don't know, this is just how it's seeming to me. And so the moon, though, the chat GPT is saying that it illuminates or something. When you go, then you're drawn toward, that's the tunnel of light. So you go towards that, and then you get there, and it's all these people that pretend to be heaven so that they can trick you, so that they can get you to come back in and just keep reincarnating. And then I was like, oh my gosh. Well, and this person who was asking ChatGPT, they are like, about the near-death experiences. Now these people have these and stuff, and then they go there, and then they're tricked into going back. And so I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm so tricked that I don't even know I'm tricked. I don't know. Maybe I've been stuck here for thousands and thousands of years. Who knows? Like, I guess we'll all find out soon enough. At some point. But anyways, so the ChatGPT said the way out, though, is your sovereignty, is healing, is getting rid of all the dark energy. Like, all the fucking things that I have been saying is the way out. All the things that I sit here and talk about every fucking day is the way out. So we've got some people here who obviously know the way out, unless the chat GPT is the part of the trick and trying to trick us. But then where is it coming from me? That's why I said, am I some robot that I've been programmed that I know this stuff? So anyways, but all of this stuff that I was saying or have been saying all the time, she just goes through the list. I'll share the video if somebody wants to see it. Just goes through the list of all these things. So learning how to take care of yourself and loving yourself, all of these things brings you into being like this sovereign being. And that is also in the harvest or the graduation or the evolution or the ascension or whatever. That is also the graduation thing. That's the thing, is pulling yourself into your truth, pulling yourself out of this control factor and the way that they control your mind and your attitude, and pulling into your sovereign self. But your sovereign self isn't in alignment with this, so you have to find yourself. And depending on how hard you hit yourself to please others is how deep your journey, or how deep the work is going to get. It's up to you. It's like what you've broke, you've got to put back in place. So anyways, I don't know what they were saying. Like, the moon is this whole setup place. Like, we go there, and then we go in, we sign contracts, we go through our, I don't know if it's about the near-death experience things. You go in, you go through your life review, you sit there with your guides, and from what they say is like, nobody in the near-death experiences I've ever read about, there's nobody telling you anything. Like, it's all, you sit there, you watch your life review, and you start to judge yourself. And I mean, a lot of the people, I don't know, because if they're tricking, I don't know. I don't know. Like, are they making all your dead relatives and they're not really there, and they're making it seem like they're there? Is it, how much of an illusion is life? How much? I fucking don't know. Like, sometimes that's the thing, is it just starts being so like, oh, so open. It's like you're in open water. It's like, God, give me something to understand. Give me something to believe in. Give me something to hold on to. It's like, fuck, man. So, so I don't know, because that gave me something to hold on to. It's like, you go and you go wherever you want, but then they're saying no, they get you up there, and then they just tell you, oh, well, you got to do this, you got to go back, we'll figure out your new life for you. So I don't know. But all I know, though, is we're here for change, because like, I can see the things that we need to work on. I can see what it is, and I try and share it, and I can see, like, I can't force it on people. And even I saw this girl yesterday on TikTok, and she was sad. She wasn't talking. She just had words in front of her, but she was just sitting there making a sad face. And so she's got depression, but nothing will work, no medicine or whatever. So she's asking people, what do I do? What do I do? And I started typing in, well, that's the stuff I talk about. Come over on my YouTube, and it might help you. I mean, I started to put that, and then I just stopped and erased it. And I went and read some of the things, people like, well, don't do drugs and whatever, trying to give all of the things to do to get out of depression. And so but to me, it was like, well, if she was meant to find me, she would find me. For me to sit there and tell her, come find me, then I was like, but then I talk about a lot of weird stuff too. And if you, like, telling somebody to come, then they don't, and they think differently than me, then, they don't really value the other stuff I say, because I say such weird stuff like the sun's fake, the moon's fake, and we live in realms, and, when everybody else is like, oh, we live in a globe, and the devils are trying to get us, and all this stuff. Like, I talk different than what is, even that stuff can be super weird to people, and so some people can't even accept that stuff. And then I don't know. All I know is that the stuff I say is out there to most people, but I can see what it is that we're supposed to be doing. It seems just so crystal clear to me, and I can see it happening, and happening naturally. And so, in how it ripples through, and how you are always where you're supposed to be, in the right place at the right time, and the effects that you have on people. And you can sit, like, I could sit here every day and whine and cry and feel sorry for myself, and like, this is the thing, is like what life is about, is so you get to see, who are you when the chips are down, or when the cards fall, or whatever, when things are hard, who are you? And so you get to see yourself. And it's weird, because I get these flashes sometimes of different people, and then I think about, like, how they would be reacting or whatever. And I don't know for sure, but in my mind, it gives me more clarity over seeing, like, oh yeah, that person would probably be real sick. They probably wouldn't be handling it very well. It would be whining and stuff like that. And I'm just like, no, get out there, get up and go. Let's do the garden. I'm like going through, and I feel like I'm going through like Mary Poppins or something, like I said. I'm going through getting things organized, helping her. So it's like, I don't know, kind of like, okay, so just say like there was a big fall like in 2020, like things started falling. And so I think a lot of things start getting not taken care of and stuff. But now we're going towards this energy of like, it's spring cleaning. Let's get going. Let's bring in the good stuff. Let's change the energy. And so it's, where it's kind of like, for years you've just been piling shit up on your table and everything's just getting a mess and stuff. But then all of a sudden the energy comes in and changes, like, oh, let's get this cleaned up, let's organize this, let's do this, and getting everything back to where it's like, then the person feels fresh again, like, oh yeah, man, everything feels good right now. Because sometimes when you look out, it's like, oh my god, it's just work, work, work. But then and sometimes just going and helping somebody, but instead, a lot of times we just sit back and judge. Oh, well, see, I can't do that. I'm not saying, you know, instead of going in, like, I'm sure there's probably in a lot of neighborhoods, there's people who are older and they can't keep up. And then, just like that lady who, the government came in and started trying to take her house because her yard's not mowed. And it's like, this is some bullshit, man. Fucking bullshit. And then the one guy who did go to try and help, but I still haven't seen what's going on with that. So I haven't seen the other part. Because he was going back. He said, I'll just get arrested if that's what they're going to do, but I'm going to go back and finish this guy's yard. And so, but that's where we step in as a community. And we start being like, oh, I can see you need some help. Let me come over and help you. And it's not going to be like a drain. That's where you're in service, where we come together as a community in service, where we can see like, oh, somebody needs some help. And that comes through compassion and empathy. And you can see, like, you go over and step up. Hey, like maybe you notice like they don't get out much and they're on the walker. You say, hey, I'm going to be going to the grocery store. If you want to give me your list and stuff, I could pick up some stuff for you. Things like that. It's like so nice for someone like my mom. She can't drive. She's can't see. And she does have all these people step up, but you can see, that's what community is. People step up. Hey, let me give you a ride to church. Let me give you a ride to the store. Why don't you come out and go shopping with us and stuff? So that is where we can all step in instead of sitting and judging, feeling sorry for people. We can step up, and that's where you make yourself vulnerable. You go over, and it's so crazy how that's like a smile, a wave can make somebody's day. And so when we step up and we say, hey, you want me to mow your yard this week? I'm going to be mowing. I can mind mowing yours. And then the person is like, yeah, that would be really nice of you. And so you do little things like that. Because in this one neighborhood I was living, with the rental that we were there as soon as we moved into it, and they put it up for sale. And I wanted to try and buy it, but I wasn't meant to be there. But the guy next door, he had been living there for a long time. He did give me the heebie-jeebies after a while. This woman across the way, she was telling me, oh, he won't do that. He doesn't mow his yard. He's got the weeds going. And so, when it was up in this part of town where it was like people were fancy yards and shit, and all uppity. And so, and I don't know, I think this guy's wife had died or something, and he just stayed closed up in his house. If he came out, he went through his garage, pulled out, left. It was like, just stayed closed off. But he didn't mow his yard. He had lots of weeds. And I remember asking him, I don't remember if I mowed his whole yard or what, but, oh no, I did do something. I can't remember now though. Because I go out. I like mowing. It's good exercise. So I don't remember if I mowed his whole yard or if I asked him and he said no, he didn't want it mowed. I don't remember. It was something though. And maybe I mowed the one whole side of it where my side, you know, I didn't stop on the line. I just did the whole thing. I don't remember. But that also, I think that got that woman in chat, or, no, he doesn't ever do that. So anyways, instead of doing, he doesn't clean up good enough, you know, where we step in. She was also older too. They probably had a history of like, and so anyways, but as newcomers or other people who aren't in their drama, you can step up and say, hey, you know, is there anything I can do to help? And that brings the level up. It gives people like that jolt of like, you know, oh, there's people that care. There is, you know, and it gives them that extra little jolt of energy, like a little adrenaline rush. And then, you know, feeding off of that. And I don't know, there's just things that we can do to make this world a better place. And it's us that have to step in and step up and start seeing and caring rather than judging and being bullies to everybody, you know, and thinking that we know it all and we have the right thing. And instead of just, you know, being open to like so much about opening our minds and opening our minds and our hearts. Yeah. That's what, yeah, okay, so the people who have all been damaged and hurt, see, they've closed their hearts off. They can't worry and care about other people. They are in too much pain on their own. And so it's weird how much people are like in their own little cesspool of pain, and they keep themselves there. And this whole victim mentality. Oh, and that's another thing that Chat GPT thing said. You got to break free from this victim mentality. And what have I been saying? You do have to break free from it. You got to quit being the victim to everybody else. Well, you know, it's their fault I feel this way. No, there's reason you feel this way. You got to try and get to the core of it so that you can figure out for your own self. It has nothing to do with them. They're the trigger. They're the component that came here to help you realize what it is that you're holding on to. It's a game. You got to think of this as a game. And so even if we, you know, have been trapped here in this reincarnation recycle for a long time against our will somehow, then I would say, no matter what, this is the change. This is the breakout. You know, we're all breaking free from the Alcatraz. We're all taking off into open water to get out there, you know. And some, I guess, will be taken by the sharks. This one kid, I guess, just got on vacation, too. And he got real, I don't know, I guess not much of him washed up. It's like, that kind of stuff. Like, I'm really predatory, like getting eaten by animals really bothers me. But I know I have been before. And so, and there was a one in Florida too, where they're saying like something's going, they have bears there. And some bear broke into a guy's house, ate him, killed him, and killed his dog. And so they're saying like the bears are being affected. And oh, I think this is what we were talking about when it went deeper into the guild and all that stuff. But the animals being interfered or influenced by the frequency. Oh, and even when I was talking about the frequency, I said, and see, you can always tell because she's getting it, like the tower, what's going on. And I said, you can always tell because you can look up at the smoke clouds and you can see that they have these waves going through them. It's like, it's so obvious, like you can see it. And so, and that's, of course, it's going to affect the airplanes, which I'm fucking going to be going on one. And then but whatever happens is supposed to happen. That's what just, so, but the bird, everything is being affected by that. And then plus we have this energetic, atmospheric, what is that called? Not these words. Kind of like the marriage of all these different realities, these different atmospheres merging and creating a new one. So it's like the marriage of these different frequencies or something, but it's this convergence, this merging. And so we have that going, which, you know, a wormwood, we have these different things coming in. And then, so there's just a lot going up in the skies. The firmament, like, I think the firmament's getting weaker. And, oh yeah, and then now, so they got the blue rain in Texas and in California, but now Colorado has purple rain. That's weird too. Purple rain, that song. There's probably some stuff in that song. Uh, purple. I know I want to listen to that song, but so there's purple rain in Colorado. All these rains, man. Like I fucking sure the hell wouldn't drink them. Like no telling. Like how what? So, and then out here breathing this stuff, you know, and then in here sneezing and stopped up and everything. Uh, you know, it's all being done to us. It's all this, I don't know, there's so much weirdness, you know. They want to reincarnation, recycle us, and they get us here, and all they want to do is poison and kill us all the time. They're not trying to make anything better. They're not trying to do better. But that is where, you know, they've reached a dead end. They've gone as far as they can go. Now we're going to, you know, it's like we're going to take over. When the thing flips, when we go from the dark to the light, it's like we're going to be in charge. But we're going to be more in charge of ourselves. But all of us together in charge of ourselves is going to move us as a collective that is going to be the wave of change. And that is where, you know, community is going to be so much better. That's all I can say. It's going to be so much better. And whatever, there's nothing from this thing to hold on to. Nothing from what we're leaving to hold on to. We're going to be massive change. And I don't know, you know, because there is going to be completely new kinds of houses too, because there's going to be things that are going to be displacing people. So, and when people go in and start building, there's going to be a lot more innovative, but then we'll also go to towns that we'll think of as old-fashioned. That'll be really cool to go back and feel like that feeling of again of being in a little quaint town. But there's going to be ones that are very, very innovative. Very, so there's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be a lot of cool stuff, coming towards us. So that's why I'm always recommending to do the work, to heal and stuff. It's worth it. It's just like where we're going is gonna be so much better. And when you don't, it's like I don't see it as like that you're a prison inmate. You're gonna be stuck. Everything is based on frequency and energy, and this to me is just a game. And so, even if you are stuck and you can't go from here to there, once you go out of here, your frequency is way higher. It's definitely going to be as high as where we are. But maybe there really is some of these people whose frequency, like if the chat GPT is like, you know, this is your I don't know the way it said it was like, this is the first time to become sovereign or something. You've always been someone's little bitch. So I don't know. I don't know. But that's also this whole theory with the star seeds and light workers. Like they've made all these people into the little bitch, and so all these other people come into lend a helping hand and say, "Hey, wait a minute! Don't forget this is a game. You got to pull yourself up out of here. Now you got yourself attached to a lot of shit." So you gotta let go of a lot of shit to get the fuck out of here. So, and that's what the chat is saying, basically. And that's what I'm saying, is you gotta work through it. You gotta let go. There's parts of you that have become entangled with this dark energy, and you got to move out of it. You gotta let it go and take the journey forward. And there is, you know, there is light at the end of the tunnel. And even at times when you can't see the light, like I said, sometimes you can't see it, but it's out there. The light's coming through the window right now. My stomach's growling like crazy. I gotta pee. It's like, okay, we're gonna be wrapping this up. But let me think if there was anything else, because there's tons of shit going on. There's tons of stuff, tons of horrible things. The one thing that I think is funny is that Virginia Giuffre or whatever, all this stuff. I swear to God, I don't think she's dead. I think this is a part, and maybe she's gonna go live, you know, a life in secret later or something. I don't know, because they do that all the time. The fucking astronaut, all these people. Like, oh, they're not really dead. They're just over here working. So, Virginia, because I don't think Anne Hayes does either. I don't know about Chandler or whatever, Matthew Perry. I don't know if he really is, but there's a bunch of people who I think Tom Hanks really is. I think Gator really is. Like, even I don't know if I had already said this or I told my mom. A Chinese leader or something has come out and said, we had no autism at all here until they came in with their Gator came in with his plan, and now they are overrun with autism. So that is, I think he's gone. I think the fraud, I think he's gone. I mean, those people are the most prolific serial killers ever to have lived. I mean, they've millions. So, yeah, it's fucking man. And I think probably, when people really realize, it would be a public stoning. Like they had to, taking them out early on was really doing them kind of a favor, because but maybe they have left them. Maybe there will be, because this is the kind of thing where people used to, tie people up to things and pull them apart and shit. This is people. It's like there's no crime, there's no ending. This is bad enough for what you've done to us. It's like that's where people get real fucking pissed. So I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out, but it's coming. People are gonna find out like these people are horrible, horrible people, and people are gonna also find out that the we're being run by gangsters, but the gangsters aren't running it. The vamps are running it. The vamps hire the gangsters. The gangsters are the ones that they're the what is that called? The heavy hand, the fist. They're the ones to keep us in control. And but the vamps, these old motherfuckers, these relics, these ones that live off of because you got the archons that live off the energy, but then you got the other ones that live off of our essence. Like they live off of blood and blood, eat people and shit. So those ones, that's who I call those ones have been around here for a long ass fucking time. And they're the ones who run this place. Not the goddamn gangsters. The gangsters are running our fucking lives. It's weird because it's just like this hierarchy kind of thing. But, we're the peasants. But this is where the peasants are about to flip this shit. The tables are about to flip. And, but the energy's going. It's not like we're going to become the oppressors to these people. No, these people are just going to be, they're going. And we don't have time or energy. It's like somebody Gavin. Fucking Gavin. Fucking garbage person. He popped up on the TV and I blurted out, "Oh God, I hate that guy." And I was like, "Oh no, I don't hate him. I don't have that much energy to give him. He's just like so worthless. I don't have the time or energy to give him my hate." So, but he disgusts me. And but that's the thing about hate is like you gotta keep stoking that fire. Who's got the energy to give any of these people? So we're all gonna get to the point of like we got nothing to give you. Like you just are irrelevant. There's nothing that we want of you, and they're all gonna be going. They're all gonna be. It's going to be lots of humiliation. There will be violence, because they're all going to be like taken out. So, anyways, I'm kind of feeling nauseous. If you want to go make a cup of tea and eat some graham crackers. But, anyways, like I've been saying, you can't go wrong working on yourself, learning how to love yourself, learning how to love everybody else, and learning how to have the day. This is all the time. I swear to God. It's just all the time. And it's weird. So, having the day that you want to have, it's up to you. So, anyways, I'll talk about it again tomorrow. So, talk to you later. Bye.